So what you're looking at right now is the Montreal Canadiens depth chart. And do you notice anything? Well, because I do, because at forward, it is an absolute logjam right now for the Habs. I mean, look at that center group there. You got Suzuki, Dach, Dvorak, Evans, Monahan, Schnarr just got sent down. Stevens is going to play in the AHL. I'm not even totally sure who Anthony Richard is. Certainly not Maurice Richard, that's for sure. But on the left side, you've also got Jonathan Drouin, Mike Hoffman, Paul Byron, who as we know is on IR, Rem Pitlick, who's also been playing, weirdly enough, center, and Michael Pezzetta. On the right side, Caufield, obviously that's a lock as your number one. You've got Josh Anderson, Gallagher, Dadonov, Armia. Like, stop me if you've heard this before, but how many of these guys can be dangled as trade bait? I mean, you need to meet the salary cap floor, but it seems like every single one of these guys, apart from like Caufield, Suzuki, Doc, have been mentioned in trade rumors. Like Josh Anderson, Gallagher, Dadonov, Armia. That's literally 3 out of the 4 right wingers right now. And they have all been mentioned. What am I saying? 4 out of 5 right wingers here have been mentioned in trade talks. So clearly something has got to give. Like there's going to be somebody or multiple guys who are pretty big names who are going to get traded, whether it's Anderson or Gallagher or Dadonov or Armia, or even down the middle, like a guy like Dvorak who looked pretty decent in preseason. He might be somebody who's on the move. We know that his name has been kicked around in trade talks. Mike Hoffman with the Habs is no stranger to trade talk here, but man, did he not look good recently. So I think that 2, maybe even 3 of the names I rattled off to you are going to get moved by the Habs by the trade deadline. That's why, like, when I say there's a big Habs trade coming, there could be multiple. Could be a package deal. I mean, obviously, we know what the return is, okay? We're going to pretend we're on Elmo or Barney right now. When I count to 3, you tell me what the Habs are going to be looking for a trade of these guys. 1, 2, 3, say it with me. First round picks, right? Like we all know that. It's obvious with the Montreal Canadiens here that that's what they're going to be looking for. And obviously, not all these guys are going to get you first. Like Yoel Armia, he's not going to get you a first round pick, right? I mean, Mike Hoffman, maybe if he's on a heater goal scoring wise, it's not looking too likely. Jonathan Drouin's in the last year of his contract. We'll see what he can do there. But as far as guys like Anderson, that to me could absolutely fetch a first round pick, right? So even Dvorak, if he wakes up and he plays well, I know in the summer it was kicked around that his value is a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Watch him in the preseason. He's getting geared up. He seems like he might have a renaissance season. Same thing with Brendan Gallagher. That's different because his contract is way tougher to move. Thank you, Marc Bergevin. But I still think it's movable if he has a good season. Teams, they're just too attracted to players with heart. Players who get their noses in the dirty areas. It's so attractive to GMs. They water, okay? Their tongues, their mouths water over these players like breadsticks at Olive Garden. I'm telling you right now, seriously, this is a guy that if he has a renaissance season like it seems like he might, absolutely could be in the conversation. So I think, I was being generous titling it Big Habs trade coming because honestly, there's probably multiple big Habs moves or trades coming here. I really believe that. And it's just a question of who goes first and who goes next and who's going to stay. Because as we know, there's been some talk, even guys like Josh Anderson, he might stay because you need some veterans. We talked about this in a recent video. You can't have the entire roster be everybody under 23 years old. I know Nick Suzuki's mature, he's the captain. He can't be like the only veteran on the team. Like you need guys like Anderson, Gallagher to show some of the kids the ropes who've done it before over and over and over again, right? So Gallagher might be a more obvious choice to stay because he has such a connection to the fans. He's marketable. His contract is tough to move, right? For right now anyways. So there's going to be somebody or maybe even a couple veterans who end up staying with the Montreal Canadiens. But for the most part, you know Ken Hughes is going to be working the phones, trying to offload as many of these guys as he can for value. Okay, anytime a first round pick, second round pick gets thrown in the equation, a good A to B level prospect gets thrown in the equation, he's going to be around it. He's going to be in it. And as we know, he's going to try to look for some young NHL ready players as well. Like, those guys are hard to find. Like, if you want to get somebody like Kirby Dach, you have to have a guy who looks like a bust or who hasn't produced or has injury trouble, something like that. That's how you get him, right? So we know Kent Hughes has an affinity for those reclamation projects, those retribution projects, shall we say. So he'll also keep an eye on that. So young players, young prospects, and draft picks. High ones at that. That's what we're going to be looking for, but watch for these names. Like I said, who did I mention? Hoffman, right? Brendan Gallagher, Josh Anderson, Dadonov, Dvorak, like all these names, Yoel Armia. Watch for them to get moved relatively soon. He can't offload all of them at the trade deadline. Some of them are going to be before then. Keep an eye on that, all right? If you want more content like this, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.